My name is Tina, and welcome to Dating a Widow. This conversation comes out every Friday at noon, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button now because you do not want to miss a single episode. This conversation today is about when to share your journey, when to talk about being a widow, how to bring that up, and how does that work. If you have started dating online, such as dating applications, you actually have to think about how you want to phrase your story. Do you want to select widow? Do you want to select single? Either of those choices are appropriate, and it's really going to be a personal decision. Let me give you some pros and cons with both. Choosing widow can often make someone feel like they are a target. For other people, choosing widow gives someone else an opportunity to let them know that they are a widow. Sometimes there are widowers that like to connect with widows. But for the people that feel like it's a target, they may feel like saying I'm a widow puts a money bag on my face or makes it look like I'm more approachable or I'm naive. Somebody else may choose to use single and they'll have that conversation when it comes on. Me personally, I started out on the dating applications and I selected widow. Eventually, I felt like I received a lot of junk responses and it just wasn't something I had the time for. So I eventually moved and selected single. It was a little bit difficult because I felt like it wasn't a representation as far as a different part of me, but I learned over time having that conversation later was better than putting it on the application. So now we have moved off the dating app and we are talking to someone in person, whether it's over the phone or we've met them for coffee or dinner. And the conversation now may come up about our status because our particular status, the person we're interacting with in our own, is part of the basic conversation in dating. But let me say this, on the first date you have with someone, if you have a sense that you don't have a connection with this person, you feel uneasy, and you're not in a place to share personal information, listen to what your gut is telling you. Refrain from giving personal information about being a widow. Wait until you're in a place that you feel comfortable. Wait till you're in a place in this situation where you feel like it is a relationship that is being built upon and maybe not just the first date. You have to get a sense of how you feel about the other person and your level of comfort. Now that you've had the first date with the person and you're feeling comfortable and you're going out on the second date, that may be a good place where you feel like you are now about to establish some type of relationship and you're learning to get to know each other. When you're at a place, whether it was the first date or now the second or third, and you feel as if this is a relationship that's being built upon, this is a time to consider your level of comfort of being honest about being a widow, because you are building a relationship and you generally want to build a relationship based on truth. Think about how you would consider if the other person was holding back something very important about their status, such as maybe they didn't mention that they were divorced, maybe they didn't mention that they had children, maybe they mentioned not about being separated because they're still legally married. Think about where you are in this relationship with this person and where you're starting to build something and the foundation of which that is. So now you've had your initial conversation and you have mentioned that you are a widow. Where it goes from there, as far as conveying how much you want to share with this person, pace it out. You don't have to do an entire dump on your marriage, on everything that happened and how your loved one died. That can be overwhelming. Pace it out. As you get to know the person that you are dating and different periods in life come about, share those organically as you are learning about this person and they are learning about you. Your spouse is part of who you are as a person. They have been with you throughout life, and it is very difficult to try to separate who you are from them. They will not be the focus of every conversation, but talking about your spouse will be organic. And as you grow closer to the person that you are dating, you can choose to divulge more about your spouse that is now deceased. You do not have to hide that. You don't want to overwhelm the person that you're dating, but you do want to be honest about who you are and what that person meant to you that is no longer here. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Dating a Widow. I hope this conversation was helpful. And please email me any other topics you would like me to cover at widowhoodrealtalk@gmail.com. See you next Friday.